I feel quite inadequate right now. One of the new characters introduced in the Seekers of the Storm DLC, the False Sun, is probably the least interesting one of the three new ones. False Sun about to hit with some true feelings. Whereas Chef is the nostalgia character and Seeker has a very different gameplay loop, False Sun just feels like any other run-of-the-mill melee character with low mobility but deadly features in the kit. Yeah guys, this just feels like Risk of Rain 2. The background check for this character is that you unlock him by beating the new final boss, being himself, the False Sun. He's a relatively easy boss that likes to steal abilities from other bosses, like the laser from the Stone Titan, or the Pillars of Blue Flame from Mithrix. You have to beat the False Sun while having Aurelianite as an item to unlock the character, by the way. And you will have a green portal when going to the Gilded Coast, so it gives you an immediate way to get to the False Sun after getting the item. Thanks, game. I needed my handheld, because I'm a fucking baby. Especially when there was already interactions between Aurelianite and Mithrix. Even as a boss, Mithrix just feels much stronger than False Sun, and also a lot more interesting because of the 4th Mithrix phase. It's an incredibly nice gimmick, and to me, Mithrix stands alone as the best boss in the game still by far. Voiling is interesting, but also really tedious, and also, it should not end the game, but that just may be me. Let me continue to play this game forever. I honestly think that the game should only have a single ending, and that everywhere except the moon should have a portal to continue to...
Ah, ça va, j'ai réussi. Oh merde, je suis rentré dedans. Je peux pas sortir. Je peux pas sortir, à l'aide.
To go more specific on False Sun himself as a playable character, I think he's best summarized with one thing. As dumb as it looks, because let's be fair, that's some Trundle in League of Legends type shit.
Time to troll!
This attack is absolutely insane, but I'm getting ahead of myself. False Sun's passive is twofold, but you will mostly care about only one of the folds. Keep the spikes on you almost at all time for the extra armor it gives, but I mean, it's weird because of how the spikes really work. Okay, time to get mathy. Every time you're gonna get some HP, you are going to increase the amount of spikes you can use. Each spike gives you 2.5 armor, and using the spike, which we will get to later, instead give this amount in move speed and regen. 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 Look, I understand that I'm supposed to play around the spikes and the laser more and everything, but we will get very quickly as to why this is a very bad way of playing this guy if you like fun, or at least that's how I feel. The auto attack is a melee auto attack. What do you want from me? There's nothing to say here. Then you've got your second attack, which fires the spikes I talked about in the passive, and each spike increases damage dealt by 10%. It's a fine ability, you know, increasing damage is cool and all, but that doesn't matter. What does is that if you first use an auto attack and then hold on to this ability at the same time, you can then make the big aerial slam. This attack's insane. Deals 1500% damage, has no cooldown because it's counted as a basic attack, and it also is the second ever ability in the game to have a proc coefficient of 3 on its own. This means that every time you use this ability, the chance of proccing an item gets tripled. For an example, completely at random, Ukulele has a 25% chance to get its effect to proc. This means that Ukulele now has 75% chance to fire every time you use this ability.
I'm gonna turn myself into Thor right now, hold up. Step 1 acquired. And boom! Electricity everywhere. 75%. Boom! Look at that!
Just as a side note, I wanted to say something about me right now. I'm going to do a whole lot on Twitch this year, so if you want, you can come and follow me over there as well. The link is in the description below and in the end cards as well. Alright, back to clubbing fools. This might just be my favorite ability in the game right now, just because of how incredibly powerful and satisfying to use it is, even if it's a bit wonky. I mean, another goofy thing you can do with this ability is just keep the club over your head like an idiot for hours, like... The fact you can just run around inside groups of enemies and spam this ability thanks to your passive, if you use enough spikes before running in groups when needed, you know, so you can have a bit more regen, I mean, you can always use this ability. Now, okay, let's address the elephant in the room though, flying enemies.
You're a coward! Come down so I can kill you! Come down!
Laser in your face, then. Well, I mean, those aren't too much of an issue. Just do one thing. Just keep pressing your fourth ability. Flying enemies are not that tanky in nature, and that fourth ability is pretty much mandatory in dealing with them. I'll be honest though, before checking the wiki, I didn't know I had to keep hold of the key to get the ability to actually deal damage. Basically, the longer you keep holding the button for the ability, the more damage it deals. However, keep in mind, you're basically a sitting duck for 5 seconds while firing this ability, so it's better to keep a dash to cancel it early if needed. But its damage is quite mandatory to deal with clusters of early game flying enemies. Even later, to be honest. This is the exact same beam attack that he uses against you as a boss, by the way. It would be really cool if you could do a beam battle just like in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and now I kinda want someone to mod in the False Sun in the game, please. The second laser attack doesn't feel as good as the Piss Beam, let's be honest.
Piss beam!
Literally, I tried the attack once and decided that I don't vibe with it and reset back to the normal laser. And we haven't talked about the dash, but that's because it's just a dash like any other, but with 2 charges. So basically, think about it like a slightly worse mercenary triple dash in essence. Yup, definitely a worse dash than Mercenary right there. False Sun is definitely a strong character, which is a change from the other two in my opinion. Chef isn't that satisfying, and Seeker can only be played correctly in a team environment. False Sun's stats are insane. Really, he's the only character in this game that can reach an insane amount of armor, without the need of armor items, but just extra HP. The passive is really weird in that sense. Using it for either armor, or sacrifice some armor, but get yourself some speed and health regen. I mean, that's a very odd combo. So basically, you either can take many hits and feel them a little each time, or get hit, feel them a lot, but heal for an insane amount. You can see what type of items would work with this guy. You know, just take proc items and make them proc insanely because of 2 attacks that either attack incredibly fast or attack at such a high proc coefficient that you cannot not get a proc. Alright, let's see how good ATG Missile and Ukulele are on this guy. Both. That's step 1. Let's add a side dish to that. Boom. Oh god. Well, okay. Let's do the biggest build we can ever do. Alright, here's the combo. Now see, this is bullshit. And you know, if it was with a setback, or, you know, an actually very high cooldown or anything, I wouldn't mind such a broken ability having such a high proc coefficient. Just look at Railgunner. But here, as it stands, the clubbing blow is just not okay. Honestly, if it was just that, the character would be just fine. And that's what I thought at first when playing him, and then you understand how the laser works, and you understand that this is an insanely strong ability too. Keep in mind, the more HP you have, the longer the duration of the laser too. It also resets your spikes a bit, not fully, but you know, whenever you use this, so you will end up having your armor back no matter what, at the cost of some of your HP regen. But yeah, understand how the laser works and just hold the key. Just by doing that, you'd have increased your damage by 5 times. I don't even know how I could be such a dumb troglodyte as to not understand. Hold key, make it stronger. Lord forgive me, I'm about to oonga boonga.
And that's it, right? I don't have much more else to say, so welcome to 2025. Happy New Year! I'll do my best to get more videos out for this year than I've ever done in my other years on YouTube, so yeah, that's a nice little incentive, isn't it? I won't be making insanely edited videos like this one every day, but I mean, I'd still like if you liked this video and commented down below, because, I mean, that'd make the algorithm like me a bit more. Maybe also subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content, more Risk of Rain or some simulation games as well. And yeah, with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next video.